So in this video, I'm going to go over just a few different order of operations problems. So order of operations you should remember from previous years. You might have heard PEMDAS before, with the understanding that this is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. I've explained to you how sometimes that can be a little bit messy because I then start thinking that multiplication has to come before division and addition has to come before subtraction, which is wrong. So if you're going to use PEMDAS, then write it vertically so that you can see that multiplication and division are on the same level and addition and subtraction are on the same level. The better acronym, I feel, is GEMS. So using G for grouping symbol, E for exponent, M for multiplication and division, and S for subtraction and addition, knowing that there's only 4 steps. So there's always 4 steps to order of operations. So in this first one, I'm going to go ahead and do my parentheses first because grouping symbols is my first step. So 3 minus 4. So I might be tempted to just think, oh, that's 1, okay? But be careful because this is 3 minus 4. So I have 3 and I'm taking away more than what I had. So if I have $3 and then I spend 4 of them, I'm now negative 1. So negative 1. I am leaving the parentheses for myself, not because I need them, I don't need them, but I like having them because they just offer a little bit of grouping symbols. Down here, kind of jumping ahead, these parentheses in the negative 5, I don't have to do anything with this first. Like, even though parentheses or grouping symbols are my first step, there's nothing to do with the negative 5. So I can move on to the next thing. So there's nothing else for me to do here, so it's not like I have to do another step. It's just showing that the negative goes with that 1. Alright, so now my next one is exponents, 3 squared. Remember that exponents are when I repeatedly multiply the same number. So 3 squared is the same as 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to bring everything else down. This is how you should write order of operations every single time. You should always do every single step on separate lines and break it down this way. You should not skip ahead. You should not be lazy. You should not think that you are too smart to actually show your work, and take your time to do it right the first time. Now, I have multiplication here, and then I have an addition sign here. So I'm going to do multiplication first because multiplication and division comes before subtraction and addition. So here I have 5 times 9, which is 45, plus a negative 1. So if I had 45 counters or $45 and then I owed somebody $1, I would have $1 taken away. So my answer is 44. Alright, now on to my next problem. I have 4 to the 0 power minus a negative 5 times 2 to the first power. So I already said that I don't have to do anything with this parentheses because there's nothing to bother with. I can just go ahead and work on my exponents. Since I have 2 exponents in this problem, I can do them kind of on the same row if I want to, or if I wanted to slow it down, I could. So 4 to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is 1. So 4 to the 0 power is 1. I'm going to go ahead and bring my other pieces down, and then I'll go ahead and also do this on my line 2 to the first power. Anything to the first power is itself. So this is 2. Now I need to think. I have a subtraction sign here and I have a multiplication sign here. I need to do multiplication before subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication. Negative 5 times 2. I'm going to do my numbers first. I know 5 and 2, when I multiply them, make 10. I have a negative, and this 2 has an invisible positive sign. So here I have a negative and a positive. Those are different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. Now, that took care of my negative 5. I still have this subtraction sign here. Don't lose it. That's why it's also often helpful to put parentheses around those numbers. So here, if I just brought down the 1 and I had just written that, then I would think, okay, I have to do 1 minus 10. If I think negative 5 times 2 and I put this here, this would be multiplying. You know, if it were right next to the parentheses, a number right next to parentheses needs to multiply. So I would be like, I don't know what operation is happening here. So I would need to go back and make sure that I didn't lose that subtraction sign. So we need to be careful that we're not losing bits and pieces of our problem, which is why it's important to go step by step. So now I have 1 minus a negative 10. So I have $1, and somebody takes away a debt for $10. So now I actually have $11. So I have $1, somebody takes away a debt I have for $10, and now I have $11. Okay? If I wanted to do that on a number line, I can think about starting at 1, okay? I'm subtracting, and I subtract a negative 10, so that means I hop backwards, so I end up in the positive direction. Alright, last problem. I'm going to start with my parentheses. 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. I'm going to bring everything else down. Okay, now I see that I have a division sign, a multiplication sign, and an addition sign. So I want to be careful that I'm not jumping to my multiplication sign first, because that's not what I do. It's division or multiplication that comes before addition or subtraction. So I'm going to go left to right, looking for multiplication and division problems. So if I go left to right, I see division. So that's what I'm going to do first. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now I have 5 times 4, because I'm still going to do my multiplication before my addition, which is 20. Now I add 100, and my final answer is 120. 120. Okay, hopefully that reminded you of some of the tricks with order of operations that you might come across.